What up, you guys? I've gotten a ton of questions about my go-to favorite white paint colors, whether it's on Instagram or on here. I feel like I've gotten this a ton, so I wanted to make a video to sort of address it all. And I also have a few tips that might be handy no matter what white paint you end up going with. So I'm just gonna kind of get in here and show you the distinction of the different whites, and hopefully you can really tell sort of how they all look. One major mistake to avoid is to just say, I just want white. So I'm gonna buy the giant, huge, no color added white. Don't do that. Do not do that. You need color. Even if it's white, you need color. I think that is a huge misconception. We want light, we want white, we want bright, and we think we want the whitest one. But it goes from being like museum chic, that's super white, to being like psych ward, prison-y. I don't even know if prison's a good reference, but it's like a prison for me in my own mind. It has a blue tinge to it. It doesn't look nice. It just won't look nice. I promise you, I've made that mistake before. It was a long time ago, and I will never, ever, ever do it again. So when you are looking for a white paint, you want something with a little bit of color. Whether you want to go slightly cool and go the gray route, or slightly warm and it's a little bit creamy beige. These colors will most likely still read as white on the wall. I personally love a warm white. I think it just is warm and really cozy, but it depends on the light in your house. We'll start out with distinctly the warmest white we have going here. It's by Sherwin. It's called Shoji white. This is really nice and sort of like anything you want to make just really warm and cozy. It's really nice in like a cabin or something that you don't want it to look so new. So it totally takes on white in the space when it's painted. Here it looks so like dark and cream, but it looks white. It just looks like a warm, rich, cozy white in a space that maybe you don't want it to look super bright and stark. You want something that feels a little bit like aged or has a little bit of a history, but still white. This is really nice, and it still reads as white. It doesn't jump into the cream family, although it plays really nicely. You can see with this is Chantilly lace here. You can see how it kind of plays with whites and with creams just like beautifully. You just want to try this out, and depending on the light in your space, and that's why you definitely want to see it in your space and see how it looks. All right, so the next one is Chantilly lace by Benjamin Moore, and you can really see the difference here between like the Shoji white, which is really cream and warm, and this Chantilly lace. This you would read almost and be like pure white. Like it doesn't look like it really has any color at all, but it's not pure white. That's exactly my point. So this looks so beautiful on the wall. It looks so nice. It's just a really good go-to if you want like white, bright, no color, but it still has a little color, and that's why it looks so nice. I know that a lot of these kind of look similar, but this is Benjamin Moore Simply White, and it's slightly warmer than Chantilly lace, but still will read white, is so beautiful and so nice, but just slightly, ever so slightly. The next color that I really love here is Decorators white, and this one is also by Benjamin Moore, and I would say the difference between like Simply White and Decorators White is it's slightly cool. So while Simply White is like a slightly warmer version, sort of than Chantilly lace of white, we have Decorators White, which is a little bit darker, but more in the cool tone. So it has like a slight gray, which is really beautiful too, and looks really nice with artwork. Alrighty, so my final favorite white, off-white color is Droplets by Dunn. It's a little bit darker than Decorators White, maybe a little bit warmer. I love it. Again, it reads white. I used this in a huge white space recently. I recommended this to a lot of people as well, and this is one that I have had mixed at the hardware store, and it worked really well, and I was able to buy it huge, and I bought the best quality paint that they had, and it worked perfectly. What I love to recommend is either painting a huge swatch on the wall or painting something like this on just a piece of white paper, or you can use parchment paper, depending, and just get it so you can see that swatch big. A swatch this big, it just doesn't read the same. The color doesn't look the same as it does when you really get it on there. The thing I like about using it on a card versus just doing it on the wall is you can kind of take it around to see what it looks like in different light. So if it's at night over here in this corner, over here in this corner, when the lights go low and the lamp's on is really when you're gonna see that color bouncing off of it. Regardless of what paint you end up going with anywhere, just make sure it works that way. Another good tip is that a hardware store will match any paint color. Well, like major mainstream paint colors, and if you have a chip, it can usually go off of that too. Sometimes you can give them the exact name if it's super mainstream, and they have it in their files and can whip it up for you. So they can whip it up as a sample, which then you can go try. I personally think with lighter colors, you can sort of get away with this more. I still go high quality on the paint because I believe it just covers better and makes the whole experience so much better of painting. In the end, it looks better. Doing a primer first just cuts down on work, basically, and money. So you don't have to paint over and over and over again. You do the primer once and then you paint. So it just kind of cuts down on time and on money, and I find it very, very worth it, especially with white. That said, if you're painting over like a creamy color with white, you probably don't need it. So if it's in the white family, you're probably okay. But if it's anything besides that, it will show through, I promise you. It will tint the white behind it, and it will make a difference. Now this is a pretty general paint tip, but the more gloss you have in your paint, the more perfect your walls need to be, and the more perfect your paint job needs to be. So if you wanna go a little bit more on the matte, flat, or even eggshell, it just will look a little bit nicer unless you're really gonna put in the time and the work or have someone else do that to make your walls look perfect. Any texture, it's just, I promise you it's not a good look. And then you're kind of like fighting it and you want it to look right, but it just doesn't. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you can really see kind of the subtleties. In person I can, but I can't tell if you can totally see it on camera. Again, it's something to kind of play with and figure out what works best for you and in your light, but these are my go-to whites that never disappoint, I promise you that. Best of luck painting. Let me know your thoughts and let me know your kind of go-to paint or paint horror stories or anything you'd like to add in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Bye.